flurry of new indictments today ensnaring celebrities, CEOs, college coaches in a massive scheme to game the college admissions system. Felicity Huffman, an Academy Award nominee, and Lori Loughlin, the actress of Full House and Fuller House fame, just two of the more than 40 alleged participants in a wide-ranging conspiracy to cheat, bribe, and lie to get children of the super rich into elite university. Here's Andrew Lelling, U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, and the FBI Special Agent in charge, Joseph Bonavolanta.
We have charged 3 people who organized these scams, 2 SAT or ACT exam administrators, 1 exam proctor, 1 college administrator, 9 coaches at elite schools, and 33 parents who paid enormous sums to guarantee their children's admission to certain schools.
This is not a case where parents were acting in the best interests of their children. This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy, literally. Some spent anywhere from $200,000 to $6.5 million for guaranteed admission. Their actions were, without a doubt, insidious, selfish, and shameful.
Huffman, Loughlin, and 46 other parents and college coaches are caught up in the investigation. Some parents paid as much as $6.5 million to get their kids into prestigious colleges, including Yale, Stanford, Georgetown, and USC. Here's Jim Murray.
Here at the USC campus in Los Angeles, an athletic coach was accused of taking a bribe in return for arranging the admission of Lori Loughlin's daughters in spots reserved for the crew team. One big problem:
the teens, Isabella and Olivia, are said never to have participated in the sport of rowing. According to charging papers, Lori Loughlin, the star of Fuller House on Netflix, and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannoli, allegedly agreed to pay bribes totaling $500,000. Last year, Inside Edition featured Loughlin's daughters, who were shooting a Teen Vogue cover.
You both want to go to school and finish school and go to college, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They post beauty and fashion tips on YouTube.
But I do want the experience of like game days, partying. I don't really care about school.
Felicity Huffman, the star of Desperate Housewives, is accused of plotting with Macy to scam the SAT college admissions test for their elder daughter. The ringleader of the bribery scheme was identified as William Singer, a private college admissions counselor. According to court papers, Singer advised Huffman and Macy that he controlled a testing center and could arrange for a third party to proctor their daughter's SAT and secretly correct her answers afterwards. Huffman's daughter received a score of 1420 on the SAT, an improvement of approximately 400 points on her PSAT. Barry Norman is an expert in college admissions.
It's a sad statement of where we are today, the level of status symbol that college has become, that people are doing things they know are just wrong.
Felicity Huffman's husband, William H. Macy, has not been charged, nor have the colleges, which have all released statements saying they knew nothing about this scheme.
What's going on, y'all? It's Big Facts coming at you again with nothing but facts. So we're going to go over how the largest college admission scandal ever took place. And, you know, with all the hoopla surrounding it. So as many of you guys have already found out, recently there had been discovered, or a fraud had been discovered and brought to light on how wealthy people have been paying this gentleman by the name of Rick Singer. I hear his name, Rick Singer, William Rick Singer, to go out and they've been paying him upwards of about $1.2 million. That was just in one scenario, to go out to get their kids accepted into some of the most elite colleges in America: USC, Stanford, Yale, Wake Forest, Georgetown, etc. And what's so surprising about this is that you hear a lot of times people talk about minorities having affirmative action and they're getting an easy route into some of these universities, whereas most of these kids too as well don't come from a very wealthy background. They're first generation to make it into college most of the times, and society doing the right thing by giving them equity, bringing them up to have a level playing field. Other people turn around and complain, but we don't see that same kind of vitriol towards the Lori Loughlin's and the Felicity Huffmans of the world, who cheat and pay their way for their kids to get into these top universities. I mean, the cheating is so bad that it is gone that they've even lied about some of their kids playing athletic sports and then being in cahoots with college coaches at these universities to get them in. One of them photoshopped their kids being part of the rowing team when they've never rowed in their life. You've heard cases of them lying, saying that their kid is a spot kicker on the football team so they could get into Stanford, and they've never played football. Same thing for some of the girls playing soccer, never played soccer, but they're getting in. And what's so surprising about it, where I say this is an issue and they criticize minority kids, is I know for a fact when it comes to sports like basketball, and if it was a kid, like a black kid trying to make it onto the basketball team, trying to get an athletic scholarship, he has to first be eligible academically before Stanford can even issue them a scholarship. Same thing goes for football. That kid has to be first admitted academically before they can even get into it. So how do these wealthy people circumvent that? Because they can easily put up 1.2 million to get their kid into the university? This goes back to what I've been saying all along, that university today in America is a sham. It is one of the biggest scams out there. You really don't need to go to a university, but a lot of these kids out there, or these parents I should say, want their kids to go into these top universities because it's more so of a brand name. It's a badge to them that they can brag about to their elitist groups. Not that they're benefiting anything from it, but just more so that they can brag. It's just to give them bragging rights. And they're taking away the spots for kids who rightfully need so to uplift themselves out of the poverty situation that they're in, and they're holding up spots. But yet they turn around and try to blame poor kids and minorities that they're getting an easy fair shake. Whereas it's the other way around. It's the rich keep getting richer. They're getting it easier in all facets of life. And the one thing that should be a meritocracy, that should be merit-based, like an education, like athletics, it has now been corrupted, and it has been corrupted for a long time. Now, most of them have now turned themselves in. They've been brought to court, instead of including Mr. William Rick Singer. We have one of the families who I've said earlier paid $1.2 million in Singer, and then also another $400,000 just to get to the women's soccer coach at Yale University, Rudy Meredith, so that she could get into this Ivy League when she clearly did not have the academic ability or the athletic ability to get in. Now, this is going to be a bad look for a lot of these universities out there. And I want to say this goes even deeper. I will even put out there that the College Board needs to be investigated. Because the College Board, who administers the SAT, they've also, some of their proctors have been complicit in a lot of this. And the College Board is pretty corrupt. They're the same people that you have to pay to take the SAT. The same people you're going to pay to get the study guide to study for the test that they're administering. Then you're going to have to pay them so that they can be able to issue out your scores to the universities you want to apply to. They have a monopoly on the whole thing. But nobody calls them out on this. So like I said, college in America has now been a big scam, and it's a reason why it's a scam is because, once again, like the housing bubble too, when the government, let's give it out, like when the government lowered interest rates, the big banks, lenders, and all that manipulated that. They started issuing out bad loans to people that they knew could never pay them back, giving people access to money that they know they could never pay them back. And what happened? That bubble grew, the housing market crashed. Same thing with college. Now that these loans are so guaranteed by the federal government, they're giving everybody these loans. Colleges now are abusing the system by jacking up the rates on colleges, whereas what you're getting out of it is nothing different from what you would have got out of it 40 years ago, which is still a bachelor's degree. They're jacking up the rates at these universities to astronomical levels. And on top of that, they're being so corrupt, that they're being so money hungry, that they're willing to take bribes from wealthier folks so that they can continue to guarantee a money stream, not only coming in from the government, but from other private individuals. And this whole thing is going to implode. This whole college system is going to implode pretty soon. When the default rates on these student loans start going up, oh, they're going to see it's going to implode. It's just going to blow up right smack dead in everybody's face. But moreover, this just goes to show why things like affirmative action have to be in place. And people want to complain about that, but they don't ever want to complain at the bourgeois, because they're programmed. They don't ever want to complain at the wealthy elites who claim that, oh, because they work hard, their kids work hard. No, that's a piece of shit. That's a lie. They didn't work hard, nothing. They took advantage of the system and they bought their way through. They cheated. There's no equity going on around here. All people ask for is for equity. Give them a level playing field and an equal opportunity. But they can't even get that. And a system that's supposed to be a merit-based system. But what I want to hear what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe down below. I'm out.